You think sharks are just great whites and tiger sharks, open water predators, apex hunters, familiar movie villains. Most people stop there, but thousands of feet below the surface, in Arctic waters freezing your lungs, in places where sunlight dies, there are sharks that twist evolution into shapes you can't predict. Sharks with tails longer than their bodies that weaponize like medieval whips. Sharks with saws for faces. Sharks that bite perfect circles out of whales. Sharks older than Shakespeare was when he died. Sharks that glow in the dark. Which ones are real and which ones just got discovered last year? If you value documented marine biology and deep-sea research like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. Also, this script is researched and factual, using sources from the journal Science published in August 2016, documenting Greenland shark longevity through radiocarbon dating of islands nuclei. And the journal Royal Society Open Science published in September 2024, describing the newly identified species Sphyrna alleni, the shovelbill shark discovered through genetic and vertebral analysis, separating it from the bonnethead population. Now back to the information. The Greenland shark lives where cold stops being temperature and becomes weapon. Waters between -1 and 10 degrees Celsius in the Arctic and North Atlantic. The flesh produces trimethylamine N oxide as antifreeze, natural chemistry that lets cells work when ice forms on your skin. This shark grows 1 centimeter per year, maybe half an inch if conditions cooperate. One specimen tagged off Greenland in 1936 measured 16 years later. Growth, 0.5 to 1 centimeter annually. Do the math on a 5-meter female. That's radiocarbon dating from the University of Copenhagen on 28 sharks published August 2016 in Science. The largest female measured between 493 and 502 centimeters. Age estimate using bomb pulse radiocarbon dating on islands. Proteins, 272 to 512 years old with 95% certainty. Most likely, age 390 years. Born 1625, give or take 12 decades. Alive during the Great Plague of London, 1665. Alive when George Washington took office, 1789. Swimming when the Titanic sank, 1912. Still hunting when you were born. They reach sexual maturity around 150 years old. Gestation period, 8 to 18 years. Maybe the longest of any vertebrate. Females 4.19 meters when mature. Males 2.84 meters. The previous record holder for longevity was an Aldabra giant tortoise named Adwaita at 255 years. This shark doubles it, lives through empires, outlasts governments, moves through the deep at 0.3 meters per second, slow motion and cold motion. Diet includes fish, squid, carrion. Stomach contents have included polar bear remains, horse, reindeer. How does a deep-sea shark eat a land mammal? Carcasses, animals that fall through ice, bodies that sink. The Greenland shark is an opportunist that wastes nothing in an environment that provides almost nothing. The meat is toxic unless treated. Trimethylamine N oxide converts to trimethylamine during decomposition, causes symptoms similar to extreme drunkenness in mammals. In Iceland, they ferment it for months, creating kest or hakarl, traditional delicacy. Acquired taste is generous phrasing. Commercial fishing targeted them for liver oil in the 1800s through 1960. One large specimen yields about 114 liters, 30 gallons. Norway subsidized hunts in the 1970s, calling them problems for fisheries. Early 1900s caught 30,000 per year. Now they show up as bycatch, 3,500 annually in Arctic and Atlantic fisheries according to IUCN assessments. The IUCN lists them as vulnerable since 2020, extreme longevity, late maturity, slow reproduction. Population recovery measured in centuries, not decades. Number 1, the frilled shark, Clematocelicus anguineus. Living fossil is the phrase everyone uses. Accurate. This shark family dates to the Carboniferous period. The body plan hasn't changed in 80 million years according to fossil evidence. Eel-like, brown or gray, 6 pairs of gill slits meeting at the throat forming a collar. The frills, hence the name, maximum length 2 meters for females, 1.7 for males. The mouth sits terminal. Front of the snout, not underneath. Inside, 300 teeth. Each tooth has 3 cusps, trident-shaped, backward curving, arranged in multiple rows. 19 to 28 rows upper jaw, 21 to 29 lower. When prey enters that mouth, it doesn't exit. First scientifically described 1884 by Samuel Garman from specimens collected off Honshu, Japan. German ichthyologist Ludwig Doederlein found them in the 19th century. The shark inhabits outer continental shelves and upper slopes. Depth range, 120 to 1,570 meters. according to surveys published in peer-reviewed taxonomy journals. Most common between 120 and 1,280 meters. Global distribution, Atlantic and Pacific. Western Pacific from southeastern Honshu to Taiwan to New South Wales and Tasmania. Central and eastern Pacific near Hawaii and California and northern Chile. Deep cold water, low oxygen. The frilled shark evolved to function where most fish suffocate. Diet, squid primarily, bony fish. Occasionally other sharks. Squid beaks found in stomach contents provide direct evidence. The hunting strategy is ambush from a coiled position. The flexible eel-like body enables a sudden lunge, the snake-like strike. The jaw opens wide enough to swallow prey half the shark's body length. The teeth grip and hold. Slippery cephalopods can't escape once caught. Reproduction is ovoviviparous. Eggs develop inside the mother, hatch internally. Embryos feed on yolk. Gestation period, potentially 3 to 3.5 years. The longest of any vertebrate, according to reproductive biology studies published January 2025 in How Stuff Works. Litter size 2 to 15 pups, average 6, born fully formed at 6 to 8 centimeters with developed gills. The IUCN listed them as least concern, but New Zealand's threat classification system says at risk - naturally uncommon. Translation, rare but not from human pressure, just naturally elusive. They get caught as bycatch in deep gill nets targeting sea bream and other game fish in Japan. The 2016 IUCN assessment noted population concerns from commercial overfishing depleting their prey base. Only about 40 global records exist for confirmed frilled shark encounters, according to data published October 2024 in the journal PeerJ. One specimen was caught alive off Japan in 2007 and briefly exhibited at Awashima Marine Park in Shizuoka. It died within days. Stress and decompression. The deep doesn't translate to aquariums. A new record from Chilean waters was published January 2025 in PeerJ, extending the known range 850 kilometers south of previous records. 2 specimens, one female, one male. The male showed mature claspers and testis development. Science knows almost nothing about where they breed, how long they live, what their actual population numbers are. The frilled shark exists in a data void. Number 2, the goblin shark, Mitsukurina ostoni. Pink-skinned, elongated flat snout, jaws that protrude so far forward they redefine anatomy. First discovered 1898 off Japan, described by American ichthyologist David Starr Jordan. The only living species in family Mitsukurinidae. Lineage, 125 million years old. Another living fossil. The shark reaches 3 to 4 meters typically. One specimen captured 2,000 measured around 6 meters. 20 feet. The body is flabby, small fins, slow swimmer by design. Deep sea sluggishness conserves energy where food is rare. Habitat, upper continental slopes. Submarine canyons, seamounts, depths greater than 100 meters. Adults deeper than juveniles. Some footage from 2024 suggests range extends deeper than 1,300 meters previously thought. The feeding mechanism is what makes this shark legendary. Slingshot feeding. Term coined by Japanese researcher Kazuhiro Nakaya and team from Hokkaido University. Published June 2016 in Scientific Reports. The team analyzed footage captured by NHK public broadcaster. 2 sharks, 5 predation events, world-first documentation of the behavior. The jaws protrude 2.1 to 9.5 times farther than other sharks in order lamniforms. Maximum velocity, 3.1 meters per second, 10.3 feet per second, fastest jaw protrusion recorded for any fish species. Faster than most cobra strikes according to comparative biomechanics research. The distance traveled, 8.6 to 9.4% of total body length. Picture your lips extending 1/10 your body length in 1/3 of a second. The mechanism starts with the shark sensing prey through ampullae of Lorenzini. Electroreceptors covering the long snout detect minute electric fields from nearby fish and squid. The shark drops its lower jaw, swings it downward and backward, creating huge gape. Simultaneously, a tongue-like structure called the basial drops from the mouth floor, expanding the oral cavity. This creates suction. The jaws then shoot forward. Upper jaw at 1.6 meters per second, lower jaw at 3.14 meters per second. Lower jaw moves faster because it combines forward thrust with upward swinging motion. The teeth are recurved, curved backward. When prey gets pushed forward, it impales itself, can't escape. After the strike comes something never observed in any other shark species. The jaws reopen and reclose during retraction. The recovery phase. Why? Unknown. Other animals with extreme gapes like snakes perform similar reset behaviors. Might ensure slippery prey stays locked. Might be a mechanical necessity from the extreme protrusion. Diet analysis shows bony fishes dominate. Grenadiers found in stomach contents, also cephalopods and crustaceans. The shark compensates for slow swimming with extreme reach. Can't chase prey, so it developed the longest, fastest ambush strike in the shark world. Fewer than 300 specimens observed or caught since discovery in 1876, according to Sharkmen's World Organization records. Most encounters are bycatch in deep water fisheries. The shark lives too deep for regular observation. IUCN status? Least concern size. Wide distribution. Low capture incidence. But that's based on limited data. We know almost nothing about population size, reproductive behavior, or true abundance. Number 3, the cookie cutter shark, Icystius brasiliensis, 40 to 50 centimeters long, elongated cigar-shaped body, short, bulbous snout, large oval green eyes positioned forward, small fins, weak muscles, lives by hovering. The liver comprises 35% body weight, rich in low-density lipids, provides neutral buoyancy, no swimming required. The shark maintains position in the water column without effort. The lower body is bioluminescent except for a dark collar near the chin. From below, it looks like a small fish, just the collar visible. Larger predators see easy meal. They rush in, tables turn. The cookie cutter becomes predator. The feeding strategy is ectoparasitic. The shark attaches to prey using suctorial lips, creates seal, closes spiracles, retracts basihal, creating pressure differential, suction, then it bites, narrow upper teeth anchor, lower teeth slice, razor sharp. Bigger relative to body size than any other shark. The shark twists, rotates body, completes circular cut, a plug of flesh removes. The wound is round, crater-shaped, averages 5 centimeters across, 7 centimeters deep. Cookie cutter, the name is perfect. Virtually every medium to large oceanic animal shows cookie cutter scars. Cetaceans, porpoises, orcas, dolphins, beaked whales, sperm whales, baleen whales, pinnipeds, fur seals, leopard seals, elephant seals, sharks, blue sharks, goblin sharks, basking sharks, great whites, megamouths, stingrays, bony fishes, billfishes, tunas, dolphin fishes, jacks, escalers, opas, pomfrets. Marine mammals in the Gulf of Mexico show widespread evidence, according to NOAA Fisheries Research, published 2018 in Journal Aquatic Mammals, documenting cookie cutter predation on 12 different cetacean species from line transect surveys and stranding data. Short-finned pilot whales off Hawaii commonly show fresh bites, according to April 2025. Research in marine biology analyzing 9,281 bite marks on resident pilot whale photo ID catalog spanning 365 encounters from 2003 to 2012. Cookie cutter sharks conduct diel vertical migration, up to 3 kilometers each way, deep during day, surface at night, following zooplankton and the prey that feeds on them. The species inhabits tropical and warm temperate oceans worldwide between 20 degrees north and 20 degrees south, where surface temperature stays 18 to 26 Celsius. Fresh wounds on marine mammals suggest the shark may range to California during warm years. One documented human attack exists, published in Pacific Science, Volume 65, Issue 3 in 2011. Long-distance swimmer in Hawaii, 2 bites, one presented as open-round concave wound typical of cookie-cutter attacks. First confirmed attack on live human. The shark regularly eats entire squid with mantle length 15 to 30 centimeters, comparable to the shark's own size, also bristlemouths, copepods, smaller prey. It replaces lower teeth in entire rows, not one at a time. Unique among sharks. Ancient Samoan legend mentions Atiu, skipjack tuna entering Palali Bay, leaving behind pieces of flesh as sacrifice to Tautanu, the community chief. That was cookie cutter sharks. People knew about these bites for centuries before identifying the cause. In later centuries, people blamed lampreys, bacteria, invertebrate parasites. In 1971, Everett Jones of U.S. Bureau of Commercial Fisheries proved the cigar shark was responsible. Shark expert Stuart Springer popularized the name cookie cutter shark, though he originally called them demon whale biters. Population status unknown, probably stable. The IUCN hasn't assessed them comprehensively. They live too deep and too dispersed for effective monitoring. Number 4, the megamouth shark, Megachasma pelagios, discovered November 15, 1976, 25 miles northeast of Kahuku, Hawaii. Depth 165 meters. Water column 4,600 meters deep. Became entangled in sea anchor of U.S. Navy ship AFB-14. The 4.5 meter male died shortly after surfacing. Examined by Leighton Taylor, entirely unknown species, new genus. New family Megacosmidae. One of the most sensational discoveries in 20th century ichthyology alongside the coelacanth. According to Sharkman's World Organization, 296 specimens have been observed or caught since. As of October 2025, most recent counts reached 273 confirmed occurrences per IUCN documentation. That's not many for 49 years. The megamouth reaches 4 to 5.5 meters, smallest of 3 filter-feeding sharks. Whale shark and basking shark are larger. The megamouth has distinctive appearance, bulky body, bulbous head, together forming teardrop shape tapering to long asymmetrical tail, top and sides gray, underside white. The mouth is enormous, about 28% of body length. Basking shark mouth is 17%. The inside of the upper lip is silvery white, very visible when mouth opens. Initially thought to contain bioluminescent photophores in early 1980s. Later team examining second specimen mid-1980s proposed the lower lip might reflect light to produce glow. A 2020 study concluded megamouths don't produce light. The white band merely highly reflective. Could be feeding mechanism, could be species recognition signal. Diet consists of zooplankton, krill, jellyfish, shrimp larvae, copepods, crab larvae. The megamouth is filter feeder, but how it feeds remains mystery. No one has observed it feeding. Anatomy suggests it doesn't feed like basking shark or whale shark. Weak jaw muscles can't sustain expanded jaw for ram feeding. Soft fins aren't suited for sustained swimming speeds. Restricted gill openings don't allow water flow needed for continuous filtering. Cartilage isn't stiff enough for sharp suction inhale like whale sharks. But the mouth can expand to enormous size, larger relative to body than other filter feeders. One hypothesis: engulf prey in giant gulps, then slowly sift water out through gills. Similar to baleen whales, blue whales and humpbacks use this strategy. Might be convergent evolution. The species conducts diel vertical migration. Tagged specimen tracked in 1990 showed swimming at roughly 500 to 1,000 meters during day. Rises near surface at night, follows movement of zooplankton prey. Swimming speed about 1 kilometer per hour, extremely slow. The megamouth appears primarily in waters off Taiwan and Philippines. Taiwan leads in encounter records. Philippines ranks second, also found off Japan, Hawaii, California, Chile. Range extends through tropical and subtropical waters of Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Oceans. IUCN lists species as least concern assessed 2018, reaffirmed 2025, based on wide distribution and no evidence of population declines. But that assessment is limited by extreme rarity and data deficiency. Only about 50 specimens have been retained at research institutes for study. Most of what we know comes from those few preserved individuals. True population size? Unknown. Lifespan? Unknown. Probably comparable to basking sharks, which live approximately 50 years. Reproductive biology poorly understood. Ovoviviparous. Embryos develop in eggs inside mother. Hatch internally. Born live. Evidence suggests oophagy, developing young, eat unfertilized eggs, and potentially siblings in uterus. Sexual maturity based on length, not age. Males mature around 4 meters, females around 5 meters. The shark is occasionally caught as bycatch, especially in Taiwan and Philippines. Captures increased during 2010s, according to species assessments. Similar depth distribution to sharp tail mola, which faces heavy fishing pressure. Both caught together in fishing nets. IUCN suggests megamouths vulnerable to same threats. Recommendation: more regular tracking and assessment. Climate change, deep-sea mining, and expanding fisheries all pose potential threats. But without population data, we're operating blind. The megamouth remains one of ocean's least understood large animals, despite living for potentially 100 million years based on molecular studies. Fossil records show the species existed at least 36 million years ago. Number 5. The Wobbegong sharks. Family Orectolobidae, 12 species, 3 genera. The name comes from Australian Aboriginal language meaning shaggy beard, refers to growths around mouth, carpet sharks. The pattern explains it. Broad, flat bodies, symmetrical bold markings resembling carpet, brown, tan, gray base with dark blotches, spots, saddle patterns, intricate designs specific to species. The spotted Wobbegong Orectolobus maculatus reaches about 3 meters, largest of the family. Banded Wobbegong O, Hale similar size. Most species max out around 1.25 meters, but size isn't what makes them extreme. The camouflage is. The dermal lobes are key. Fringed skin flaps around head and mouth, branching, whisker-like. Some species, like tasseled wobegong Euchrosaurinus dasypogon, have elaborate fringing that extends continuously from snout to pectoral fins, including beard on chin. These flaps break up the shark's outline, blended into reef environment. Under ledges on ocean floor among rocks, the wobegong becomes invisible. Ambush predator perfected. They remain motionless during day. Wait, patience is strategy. When prey comes close enough, the wobegong strikes. Fast, powerful jaws, needle-like teeth. The prey gets swallowed whole often. No escape. Diet includes reef fish, cephalopods, crustaceans, occasionally other sharks. Tasseled wobegong has been observed eating brown-banded bamboo shark 80% of its own size. Took 30 minutes just to engulf the head according to Save Our Seas Foundation field observations. Active luring has been observed in captivity. When the tasseled wobegong senses food nearby, it waves its tail slowly back and forth. The caudal fin resembles small fish, complete with dark eye spot at base. The shark rests with head elevated, places head within striking distance of anything drawn by tail lure. Tiny fish and crustaceans settle on resting wobegong's head. Larger fish come to eat them. Wobegong attacks. Multi-level trap. The species inhabits shallow temperate and tropical waters, Western Pacific and Eastern Indian Oceans, chiefly around Australia and Indonesia. One species, Japanese wobegong Oryctolobus japonicus, occurs north to Japan, bottom dwelling. Most time spent resting on seafloor, found in inshore waters from intertidal zone to 110 meters depth. Unlike many sharks that must keep swimming to breathe, wobegongs actively pump water over gills using specialized cheek muscles. Allows prolonged stationary periods. Energy conservation. Better ambush position. Reproduction is ovoviviparous. Females produce eggs that hatch into live young while inside mother. Litter size up to 20 pups, depending on species. Pups leave mother immediately after birth. Otherwise, they might get eaten. Maternal cannibalism is risk. Wobegongs are largely nocturnal. Slow metabolism means feeding only twice weekly is sufficient in captivity. Underfed specimens show visibly atrophied dorsal musculature. The sharks have reputation for aggression toward humans. The Australian shark attack file contains more than 50 records of unprovoked attacks. International shark attack file has 31 records. None fatal, but injuries can be severe. The spotted wobegong and tasseled wobegong especially. Gilbert Whitley wrote in 1940 that tasseled wobegong attacks and generally kills the natives of Papua New Guinea. Claim is questionable, but the shark is certainly capable of inflicting serious wounds. The problem is accidental harassment. Cryptic appearance means divers and snorkelers don't see them. Step too close, place hand or knee near the shark. It bites. Poor vision means the shark might mistake human limb for prey. The ornate wobegong has been known to swim toward divers in possibly antagonistic response. 32 wobegong attacks total are documented in International Shark Attack File, though species identification is often uncertain due to similarity. Conservation status varies by species, most listed as least concern. Spotted wobegong benefits from size and daily trip regulations in Australia that reduce targeting. A large portion of tasseled wobegong range falls within Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, where no-take zones restrict capture. The sharks are occasionally kept in home aquarium trade. Smaller species like tasseled wobegong and Ward's wobegong considered ideal for home aquarists. Appropriate size, lethargic, fits in limited space, but they will consume tank mates, even quite large ones. Some aquarists view the lack of activity as drawback. Prefer more active sharks. Commercial value is limited. Attractive skin occasionally used for leather, not heavily targeted by fisheries, but caught as bycatch. Climate change and habitat loss pose bigger threats, especially for reef-associated species. Number 6, the saw shark, family Pristiophorida. Not to be confused with sawfish, which are rays. Saw sharks are sharks. Gill slits on sides of head, not underneath. Smaller size, average 1.5 meters, about 5 feet. The rostrum is key. Long tapering blade-like snout, can comprise up to 30% total body length. Lined with sharp teeth along both edges, not true teeth, modified scales called rostral teeth. They grow throughout life, but unlike mouth teeth, they don't replace if lost from base. If broken above base, they regrow. Between 19 and 25 rostral teeth on each side, depending on species. Halfway down the rostrum, barbels, long-paired sensory structures. Whisker-like, these detect buried prey. 8 to 11 species exist currently recognized. Hard to say exactly because new species keep getting discovered. One described 2013, 2 described 2020, more probably unknown. The common saw shark Pristiophorus ceritis is endemic to southern Australian coastline. Jurien Bay in Western Australia, east to Coffs Harbour in New South Wales, including Tasmania. Maximum length 137 centimeters. Typical adults 80 to 120 centimeters. Pale yellow to gray-brown dorsally with irregular dark spots and blotches, white ventrally. Camouflages against sandy substrate. Inhabits outer continental shelf and upper slope. Depths 37 to 310 meters. Most abundant in Bass Strait region off Victoria and Tasmania. The short-nosed sawshark Pristiophorus nudipinus has similar range, slightly compressed body. Shorter, narrower rostrum, 13 teeth in front of barbels, 6 behind, uniformly slate gray dorsally, pale white or cream ventrally. Females reach 124 centimeters, males 110 centimeters, lives up to 9 years. The long-nosed sawshark is the common sawshark. They're the same species, just different common names. The Japanese sawshark, P. japonicus, lives off Japan, Korea, northern China, at depths to 500 meters. Has 15 to 26 large rostral teeth front of barbels. The tropical sawshark, P. delicatus, found off northeastern Australia, depths 176 to 405 meters. Pale brown with yellow hue, about 95 centimeters average. Deep water makes it hard to catch, hard to study. The African dwarf, sawshark P. Nancy was discovered 2011 off Mozambique at depth 1,600 feet. Small 5-gill sawshark, since spotted off Kenya and Yemen, distinguished by having barbels closer to mouth than to rostrum tip. Lana's sawshark P. Linnaeus discovered in 1966 by Dave Ebert, who distinguished it based on number of rostral teeth. Named after his daughter Lana on occasion of her graduation from University of San Francisco. Dark uniform, brown dorsally, pale white ventrally, slender-bodied, 5 gills each side. Grows to about 70 centimeters. Diet consists of small demersal fish and crustaceans. Shrimp from family Pandalidae are most important dietary component for common sawshark based on stomach content analysis published October 2017 in Journal of Fish Biology. Also crabs, isopods. Small squid, sawsharks detect prey through barbels and ampullae of Lorenzini. Electroreceptors concentrated on rostrum and barbels. Poor eyesight, rely on electroreception and touch. Foraging occurs on seafloor. The shark rakes and stirs sediment with rostrum, dislodging buried prey. Once prey is detected and uncovered, the rostrum sweeps sideways in slashing motion. The teeth stun or injure prey, makes capture easier. The rostrum also serves defense against predators, sharks and large fish. Reproduction is ovoviviparous, reach maturity about 2 years age. Females give birth after 12-month gestation, litters of 3 to 22 pups, average around 10, born in shallow coastal waters, typically during winter. Newborns measure 27 to 38 centimeters, fully formed miniature adults, complete with functional rostrum and teeth. The rostral teeth emerge before birth, but lie flat against snout of fetus, prevents injury to mother during development. They erect after birth. Pups are immediately independent. No parental care. Conservation status varies. Common sawshark listed as least concern by IUCN assessed 2021. Caught as bycatch and trawl and gillnet fisheries. Some populations targeted commercially for meat, especially in Asia. Sawsharks are difficult to age using standard vertebral banding approaches. Most approaches don't work. Makes population assessment challenging. Number 7, the thresher sharks, family Alopidae. 3 species, all in genus Alopias. The common thresher, A. vulpinus. The big eye thresher, A. superciliosus. The pelagic thresher, A. pelagicus. Named for scythe-like tail that can be long as entire body. The common thresher is largest, reaches 6.1 meters and over 500 kilograms. Big eye thresher, 4.9 meters. Pelagic thresher, smallest at 3 meters. Half that length is tail. The tail is weapon. Hunters have long suspected this. Specimens caught by their tails and fishing gear suggested it, but proof came 2013. Footage captured 2010 by Thresher Shark Research and Conservation Project at Pescador Island, Philippines. Analyzed by Simon Oliver and team at Bangor University. Published July 2013 in PLOS 1. 61 observations. Recorded by handheld underwater video between June and October 2010. 25 hunting events analyzed. The sharks hunted sardine schools. Hunting occurred at all times of day. 4 phases: preparation, strike, wind down recovery, prey collection. Preparation phase is longest. The shark accelerates toward bait, ball, and lunge. Building speed and winding up. Strike phase begins with pectoral fins adducting, changes pitch. Posterior region lifts rapidly. Approach stalls. The shark lowers snout, pitches body forward, flexes base of tail. The tail then whips overhead, travels full length of body from base to tip of snout, like trebuchet, maximum velocity, 30 miles per hour average. Fastest recorded, 80 miles per hour at tail tip. The strike lasts about 1/3 of a second. When tail impacts sardines, the results are devastating. Swim bladder ruptures, broken spines, bodies torn apart. Tail slaps occurred with such force they caused dissolved gas to diffuse out of water column, forming bubbles. Visible on footage, each successful strike kills up to 7 sardines. Energy-efficient hunting, success rate about 1/3 of strikes. But successful strikes always produce multiple kills. The shark then turns 180 degrees, collects dead and stunned sardines, swallows them at leisure, smallmouth designed for small prey. No need for large gape when prey is pre-processed by tail weapon. Sideways tail slaps, also observed though less common. Horizontal sweep instead of overhead whip. Little vertical movement. Shark positions alongside school. Flexes trunk and caudal peduncle laterally. Whips tail to one side. Trajectory horizontal terminating in line with first dorsal fin. The vertebral column has anatomical modifications supporting this extreme behavior. Research published February 20 to 24 in Royal Society. Open Science by Jamie Knobb and Marianne Porter at Florida Atlantic University examined vertebrae from 10 common threshers across range of sizes from embryo to large adults. Found that mineralized microarchitecture varies front to back of body. Anatomical modifications may support tail whipping. Vertebral column is fortified along length, works like catapult. Anterior vertebrae stabilize main body. Posterior vertebrae support overhead tail whips. Juveniles acquire mineralized structures throughout development. Supports larger body as they grow. Supports tail for whipping. The common thresher can rotate eyeballs backward and head, presumably to see tail during strikes. Diet includes schooling pelagic fish, bluefish, juvenile tuna, mackerel, also squid, cuttlefish, crustaceans, occasionally seabirds. The sharks follow prey into shallow waters. All 3 species are highly migratory. Ocean odromus. Common threshers tend continental shelves. Big eye threshers prefer open ocean. Pelagic threshers, smallest and most tropical. The sharks are primarily pelagic, prefer open ocean, depths, typically 550 meters and less, though capable of deeper dives. Common threshers range continental shelves of North America and Asia and North Pacific. Big eye threshers found worldwide in tropical and temperate waters. Pelagic threshers in Indo-Pacific. All 3 species are solitary creatures generally, occasionally hunt in groups of 2 or 3 contrary to their solitary nature. The species are popular sport fish. Also hunted commercially for meat, liver oil, skin for shagreen, fins for shark fin soup, all 3 listed as vulnerable by IUCN since 2007. Populations declining, long gestation periods, low reproductive rates, late maturity, they're ovoviviparous. Embryos feed on yolk and unfertilized eggs, oophagy. Give birth to small litters of 2 to 4 pups typically. The extreme tail makes them vulnerable to fishing gear, long lines especially. They strike bait with tail. Tail gets hooked, trapped. Commercial and recreational fishing pressure combined with low reproduction creates conservation concern. Despite being active predators, thresher sharks don't appear dangerous to humans. No recorded human fatalities, though they're deadly at both ends. The tail as weapon means most shark-related injuries from front or bitey end has exception. Number 8, ghost sharks, also called chimeras, ratfish, spookfish, rabbitfish, not true sharks, cartilaginous fish in subclass holocephaly. Related to sharks and rays, but diverged about 400 million years ago. 54 known species currently, though new ones keep appearing. Chimera supapai discovered 2024 off Thailand, published March 2024 in Raffles Bulletin of Zoology. Caught 2018 in Andaman Sea at depths 2,533 to 2,543 feet. Dead immature male, eyes nearly 1/3 size of entire head. Feather-like frills maybe, allowing maneuver over rocky terrain, 20 inches long. Name for Thai scientist Supap Amongkoprasit, who studied these fish her whole life. David Ebert at Pacific Shark Research Center, San Jose State University, says there were 53 known chimera species. This makes 54. The Australasian narrow-nosed spookfish, discovered September 20 to 24 by New Zealand's National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research. Hariota avia is scientific name, named after grandmother of research scientist Britt Finucci. Avia means grandmother in Latin. Also because chimeras are ancient relatives, the grandmas and grandpas of fish. Lives exclusively in deep waters around Australia and New Zealand. Long pointed nose, bulging black eyes, chocolate brown skin, long wispy tail, smooth skin, no scales, distinctive beak-like teeth, feed on shrimp and mollusks, prowls, ocean floor, hunting prey more than 2.6 kilometers down, about 1.6 miles. Previously thought to be part of single globally distributed species, genetic and morphological analysis proved it distinct. Ghost sharks have full cartilaginous skeletons, elongated bodies, large heads and eyes, bodies covered in rough tooth-like scales called dermal denticles. Many species have long whip-like tail. Deep-sea habitat makes them difficult to study, elusive. Their lineage goes back 300 to 400 million years according to evolutionary studies. Living fossils. They retained many primitive characteristics similar to ancient fish species. Maximum size generally 5 to 6 feet. Some species smaller. They feed on a variety of prey. Fish, crustaceans, mollusks. Their habitat makes them hard to study and monitor. We don't know much about biology or threat status. 4 species listed as vulnerable on IUCN Red List. 4 more near threatened. Threats include habitat degradation, overfishing, bycatch in deep-sea fisheries. Discovery of new species tells us how little we know about marine environment, how much remains to be explored. Now the hammerhead sharks, not one species, 9 species currently recognized from 2 genera, all in family Sphyrnidae. But 2024 brought something new. Sphyrna alani, the shovelbill shark, published September 2024 in journal Zootaxa by Cindy Gonzalez at Florida International University and colleagues. Small hammerhead, less than 1.5 meters at maturity. Flat shovel-shaped head lacking indentations on anterior edge. Previously considered same species as bonnethead shark Sphyrna tiburo. Genetic markers and vertebral differences reveal distinct species. The discovery cleaves bonnethead population in 2. Confirmed presence in Caribbean, Belize, Panama, Colombia, Trinidad and Tobago, southwestern Atlantic, Brazil. Named for Paul Allen, Microsoft co-founder. His family foundation funded numerous shark and ray projects. Bonnethead sharks are unusual, one of few omnivorous sharks. Eat seagrass in addition to typical shark diet. Smallest of hammerheads. Share characteristic cephalofoil. The hammer, lateral expansion of head that holds eyes at ends and brain in between. Why the hammer? Research continues. Current belief helps with sensory reception and maneuvering. Houses eyes at either end for better vision. Enhanced electroreception. The ampullae of Lorenzini spread across wider surface area. Better prey detection, better spatial awareness. Hammerheads have been swimming oceans for 20 million years. Eat various fishes, squid, crustaceans, invertebrates. Lifespan 20 to 30 years. All hammerhead species except one listed as vulnerable, endangered, or critically endangered by IUCN. Heavily threatened family, mainly from overexploitation. The shovelbill shark assessment is now warranted. Given fishing and management distribution, it's likely IUCN status of Sphyrna tiburo will improve, while Sphyrna alani warrants highly threatened status. The bonnethead as single species was assessed as globally endangered, well managed in US and Bahamas. Heavily fished and poorly managed elsewhere. Evidence of population collapse in Brazil, throughout tropical eastern Pacific. Now we know it's 2 species. The shovelbill likely bears more fishing pressure. Caribbean and Brazilian waters have less regulation. Greater management attention necessary to rebuild Sphyrna alani populations. Could take form of restrictions on gill nets and trawls. These gear types responsible for most catches of this coastal species. The species only just got described. Already needs protection. That's modern conservation. Discover species, realize it's already in trouble. These are the sharks that exist outside the frame. The Greenland shark that's older than your country. The frilled shark unchanged since before dinosaurs. The goblin shark with jaws faster than cobras. The cookie cutter that takes bites from whales. The megamouth we've seen less than 300 times in 50 years. The wobbegong lying invisible on your reef. The saw shark with electroreceptive blade. The thresher with tail whip hunting. The ghost sharks in crushing depths. The hammerheads we just realized are 2 species, not 1. Every one of them evolved solutions to survival that twist the blueprint into unrecognizable forms. Deep time, deep water, deep pressure. Each variable sculpts flesh into functional art. The ocean hides more than it shows. 300 million square kilometers, average depth 3.7 kilometers, most of it unexplored, most of it dark, most of it unknown, and in that darkness, sharks that make great whites look ordinary, sharks that rewrite what apex predator means, sharks that prove evolution doesn't follow rules we expect. A new study, published October 2024 in Journal European Radiology, used genetic analysis to understand Greenland shark longevity on molecular level, looking for exceptional genes, trying to crack the code. Why do they live 5 centuries while other sharks die in decades? What's different in the DNA? The answer might teach us something about aging, about cellular repair, about time itself written in cartilage and cold. Or it might just confirm that some organisms won the lottery of deep water slow motion existence. Natural selection filtered through Arctic pressure into creatures that refuse to die on human timescales. One Greenland shark swimming now might have been alive when Mozart was composing, when Napoleon was conquering, when Lincoln was shot, when Einstein published Relativity, still hunting, still slow, still processing that frozen world into another century of survival. That shark knows nothing about history. It knows squid and carrion and cold. It knows the pressure at 1,000 meters. It knows how to not die. That's enough. Scientists estimate we've explored less than 20% of Earth's oceans. Most exploration focuses on coastal areas, shallow depths, accessible regions. The deep remains frontier, the abyssal plains, the trenches, the mid-ocean ridges, hydrothermal vents, cold seeps. Each habitat likely contains species we haven't seen, sharks we haven't documented, behaviors we haven't recorded. The megamouth went unnoticed until 1976, despite growing to 18 feet. The shovelbill hammerhead went unrecognized despite swimming in well-studied Caribbean waters. How many more are waiting? How many ghost sharks prowl depths beyond our submersible range? How many cookie cutters leave marks we attribute to other causes? How many saw sharks rake sediment in trenches we've never mapped? The ocean doesn't give up its secrets easily. It takes accidents, bycatch, lucky timing, persistent researchers, underwater cameras in the right place, DNA analysis that reveals hidden species, fossil teeth that prove ancient lineages. Each discovery adds one piece to a puzzle with millions of pieces still missing. In 2023, fishermen in Taiwan caught pregnant female goblin shark carrying 6 pups. First documentation of pregnancy in the species. Published data on reproduction for animal discovered 1898. 125 years to see a pregnant one. That's the pace of deep-sea research. In 2024, footage suggested goblin sharks might range deeper than 1,300 meters. Previously thought limit. One video changes the understood depth range. In 2011, scientists described African dwarf saw shark from one specimen off Mozambique. Since then spotted off Kenya and Yemen. Range expanding or just better observation? We don't know. In 2025, new-frilled shark record published from Chile extends range 850 kilometers south. 2 specimens, enough to redraw the map. Every data point matters when total data points are in the dozens. The Thresher shark tail-whipping research took years of patience. Simon Oliver started watching in 2005. Didn't observe hunting until divers called him 2010. 5 years waiting. Then 5 months of intensive observation while sardine school stayed put. 25 hunting events analyzed from 61 observations. That became definitive paper. Published 2013, proved century-old hypothesis, documented behavior never before filmed in wild. Now we know for certain threshers weaponize tails, but we still don't know where they breed, how long they live, what percentage of population hunts this way, whether they use other tactics in different conditions. One mystery solved. Dozens remain. That's every shark on this list. Partial knowledge, fragments of understanding, glimpses of behavior. The full picture stays hidden in depths we can't reach on timescales we can't observe. The cookie cutter shark represents perhaps the perfect evolutionary adaptation. Energy conservation, neutral buoyancy, bioluminescent lure, surgical bite mechanism, attacks prey orders of magnitude larger. Takes just what it needs. Leaves host alive usually, moves on. The efficiency is remarkable. The shark weighs perhaps 2 kilograms. It attacks sperm whales weighing 40,000 kilograms, 20,000 times its body weight. Imagine a predator doing that to you. Imagine the adaptation required. The cookie cutter evolved to exploit a niche nobody else could access. Large mobile prey, abundant, everywhere in ocean, unutilized resource, flesh on the move. The cookie cutter developed the tools, suction, cutting teeth, rotation technique. Then it developed the lure to make prey come close. Then it developed the hovering ability to stay positioned without burning energy. Then it developed the deep water migration to track prey movements, each piece essential. Remove any element and strategy fails. But assembled together, perfection. A 2-kilogram shark eating whales. The Wobbegong shows different strategy. Complete stillness, total camouflage, infinite patience. Wait for prey to come to you. The reef provides cover. The coloration provides invisibility. The dermal lobes provide deception. The lure tail adds active component, multi-level trap, using appearance, position, behavior. The Wobbegong trades mobility for ambush efficiency. Doesn't chase, doesn't pursue, just waits, just strikes, just eats. The specialization is so complete, the shark can barely swim compared to other species. Slow metabolism, minimal energy expenditure, maximum efficiency when opportunity appears. The strategy works. Wobbegонgs are successful. 12 species, widespread across Indo-Pacific, some reaching 3 meters, some populations abundant enough to support small-scale fisheries. The carpet shark won by becoming carpet, evolution through disappearance. The saw shark and sawfish converged on similar solution independently, elongated rostrum with lateral teeth, electroreceptive sensors, benthic lifestyle, slash and stun feeding strategy. Both work, both successful, but they're not closely related. Sawfish are rays, saw sharks are sharks. The saw evolved twice, different genetic pathways, different anatomical structures, different families entirely, but facing similar challenges, similar prey, similar habitat, evolution found same answer. The saw, that's convergence. When distant lineages develop identical solutions to identical problems, happens frequently in ocean, streamlined bodies, countershading. Filter feeding. Each trait evolved multiple times independently. Each time because physics and biology create optimal shapes. The saw is optimal for certain bottom feeding strategies. So it appeared twice in separate lineages, millions of years apart. Nature doesn't waste good designs. The hammerhead head is opposite case, evolved once in one lineage, then diversified into 9 species, each slightly different head shape, each slightly different niche, but all using same basic tool, the cephalofoil, enhanced electroreception, better binocular vision, improved maneuverability. Those advantages drove adaptive radiation. One weird head shape became template, then variations on template colonized different habitats, different depths, different prey bases. Bonnet head smallest, great hammerhead largest 6 meters. Scalloped hammerhead schools in hundreds. Smooth hammerhead migrates thousands of kilometers. Shovelbill hammerhead just discovered, all from one ancestral species that developed lateral head expansion. Then evolution just kept iterating, kept modifying, kept adapting. Result: entire family of hammer-headed sharks dominating warm ocean zones worldwide until humans started fishing them. Now most species threatened or endangered. Took millions of years to evolve the hammer, taking decades to collapse the populations. These extreme sharks show what's possible, what evolution builds when given time and pressure and isolation. Deep water enforces constraints. Cold slows metabolism. Darkness eliminates sight. Pressure compresses tissue. Food becomes rare. Energy becomes precious. In those conditions, living fossils survive unchanged because change isn't necessary. Specialized hunters evolve impossible anatomy because conventional tools don't work. Bizarre feeding strategies emerge because normal predation is impossible. The Greenland shark grows 1 centimeter per year because that's fast enough when you live 5 centuries. The goblin shark evolved collapsible jaws because chasing prey burns energy the abyss doesn't provide. The cookie cutter turned other sharks into resource because stealing flesh is easier than hunting. The megamouth grew huge mouth because filter feeding requires volume. The wobbegong became living carpet because camouflage beats speed. The saw shark evolved blade snout because buried prey needs excavation. The thresher grew whiptail because schooling fish needs stunning. The ghost sharks kept primitive traits because ancient designs work fine at depth. The hammerheads grew weird heads because enhanced sensors find more food. Each adaptation costs something. The Greenland shark trades speed for longevity. Can't chase, can't react, too slow. The goblin shark trades muscle for mechanism, flabby body, weak swimmer, relies on ambush. The cookie cutter trades size for efficiency, 2 kilograms. Vulnerable to anything larger. The megamouth trades feeding flexibility for filter specialization, can only eat tiny prey despite massive size. The wobbegong trades mobility for camouflage, can barely swim, easy target if detected. The saw shark trades stealth for sensory reach. The rostrum is conspicuous, hard to hide. The thresher trades standard hunting for tail weapon. Smallmouth limits prey size. The ghost sharks trade shallow water for deep water. Trapped at depth, can't tolerate surface pressure. The hammerheads trade hydrodynamic efficiency for sensory advantage. The head creates drag, requires more energy. Every extreme feature has cost. Evolution doesn't create perfection. It creates functional compromise. The shark that survives long enough to reproduce passes genes forward. That's the only test. These sharks passed. And that brings us to the last factual reveal that reframes everything we just heard. In November 2024, researchers published analysis in Journal Proceedings of the Royal Society, B, examining how climate change and shifting ocean temperatures are forcing Arctic and deep sea species, including Greenland sharks, into new territories. As surface waters warm, cold water sharks are being displaced downward and poleward. Their narrow temperature tolerance means they can't adapt quickly. These species evolved over millions of years to inhabit specific depth and temperature ranges. Now those ranges are shrinking, moving, disappearing. The Greenland shark, living 5 centuries, might be final generation in certain areas. The frilled shark's prey base is moving as temperatures shift. The megamouth's zooplankton is migrating to different latitudes. The ghost shark's deepwater refuges are warming. Every extreme shark on this list specialized for conditions that are now changing faster than evolution can respond. They survived mass extinctions, survived ice ages, survived asteroid impacts. They might not survive us. Not because we're hunting them directly, though that's also happening. Because we're changing the fundamental parameters their entire biology depends on. Temperature, pressure, prey distribution, ocean chemistry. The extreme sharks are extreme because they pushed specialization to limits. That makes them fragile. That makes them vulnerable. That makes them first to disappear when conditions shift. The ocean still holds its secrets, still hides its depths, still protects its strangest children. But the protection is failing. The secrets are being dragged into light. The depths are being reached. And what we're finding is a world more bizarre and more fragile than we imagined. Sharks that live centuries. Sharks with saws for faces. Sharks with jaws that shoot forward faster than strikes. Sharks that eat whales one bite at a time. Sharks we discovered last year. Sharks we still haven't discovered. All of them swimming in the same ocean we're changing. The Greenland shark that was born when Shakespeare was alive might die because we warmed the Arctic. The goblin shark that survived 125 million years might go extinct because we're destroying deep sea habitats. The cookie cutter that perfected efficiency might starve because we're overfishing its prey's prey. The extreme sharks are telling us something. They're showing us what evolution creates when given time and space and stability, and they're showing us what disappears when we remove any of those elements. 500 years old or 500 million years old, doesn't matter. They all bleed the same when we cut them. They all die the same when we change their world. The question isn't which extreme shark is most bizarre. The question is, how many will still exist when your children look for them? That's the real extreme, not the sharks. What we're doing to them,